Good morning, good evening to you all. How are you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful Friday evening for those of you up in the north, and Saturday morning for those of us down here. Welcome to today's live. I am Karen. I am the Plant Power Coach. I'm a certified whole food plant based nutrition expert, holistic health coach, and life coach. And yes, that may sound like a weird combination of things to have all bundled together, but I guess I'm a bit of a weird creature, so that's okay. Um, so what I guess I bring you here in this group and with these trainings is a combination of helping you create the health that you want in your body by helping you get over your own, I guess, your own inner BS, your own excuses, the things that really hold you back from taking the action that you know are going to lead to the results that you want. I help you see that really it's not that hard. It's just the way you're thinking about things that makes it seem hard. I help you create a more intentional life. That's what I want. I really want to help you create a more intentional, healthy life. Have the healthy life that you want to live, the happy, intentional life with the healthy weight body that you want, instead of just repeating the life and the health that you have found yourself suddenly in. So today's training, we're talking about getting through the holiday season without falling off that wagon. So look, I know what it's like with all the temptations of food and booze. I'm a human being. I've lived through it all as well. Like in my past life, I used to party like a rock star. Used to party with rock stars, literally. So, and especially around Christmas time, right? It's in a past life, I was a retail buyer. I think those of you who've been following me for a while will know that I worked for a department store. And this Christmas time was a time of year when all of my retail suppliers would take me out, take us, I guess, a team out, and wine and dine us for the Christmas period to say thank you for all our hard work during the year, which was wonderful. So we were faced with all the food and the booze temptations, but that wasn't even just at the weekends. That's during the week as well. And then the department store I worked for used to have a big ritzy Christmas ball for us too, for our suppliers and for us as staff. And there was all the food and the free flowing champagne and all the glitz and glamour, celebrities, everything. So, and then of course there's my birthday, that is the day before Christmas, and then all the other Christmas parties and celebrations and other friends' birthdays. So, oh my God, so I know just how much this time of year can throw our bodies out of whack. And then it kind of started really with usually with Halloween and all the Halloween parties, and then it goes into, at least here in Victoria, in a past life, it was, for me, it was cup season and things like that. I don't celebrate that anymore. For you guys in the US, it sort of kicks off probably with Halloween, and then into Thanksgiving, and then you've got Christmas, and then we've got New Year, of course, after Christmas. So it doesn't stop really. It's a good 2 to 3 months of just non-stop food and drink exposure. And what we want to acknowledge is that there's all a, there's, all of us have a part of us who used to be dominant. A part of us that used to really indulge in that way of living. If we've changed our food, if we've changed our social, if we change our drinking habits and things like that, if that part of us was quite dominant in a past life, as it was pretty much for me, I'm not going to make that part of me wrong. We don't need to make that part of us wrong. That part of us will still live in us, inside of us, there somewhere. So I'm not going to make that part of me wrong. I know she's still there, and I know why she appeared in my life. She was there to bring me out and become a more sociable person. Whereas the majority of my life, I had been painfully shy. So, I appreciate everything that she helped me through in a time when I needed her. She's still in there. And I know that every now and then, particularly as we come into these very highly sociable parts of the year, that she wants to take dominant control of this body once again. But I am the one in charge now, and I am taking us in a new direction, because I know just how much I feel better when I'm not living that lifestyle. I really understand what rich foods, eating out too much. I know what too much booze does to my body, and I really feel the effects in my body afterwards. Um, but like I said, we all have a little bit of that old version inside of us. And whether that's the part of us that wants to party like a rock star, or the version of us that just wants to eat all of the things, all of the animal foods, the rich foods, the sweets, etc. Whoever that other version of you is, like that version of you who is not 100% on board with this, new healthy lifestyle that you're adopting right now. We all have a little bit of that inside of us still, and that is okay. So today is about how do we still nourish that part of us without the guilt factor, but also without giving that part of us back the dominant control of our life and sending ourselves spiraling back to the start line, like a little bit like the snake in Snakes and Ladders, taking us back to square one, or that the go home and do not collect $200 card in Monopoly. So we're allowing that side of us to come out, and have a little fun. But then we're going to make sure that us, the one who wants the healthy lifestyle, the healthy body, that one is still the dominant person who's in control. All right, so let's dive into it. This one's probably going to be a little bit shorter today. So make sure you have a pen and paper ready, and you can jot down these notes. Right, so we've been honest so far about the fact that this time of year is challenging. We've also been honest so far about the fact that we have parts of us that still like to play up. So how the hell do the new version of us retain control of our actions when the old version of us is just busting a gut to come out, start taking over proceedings like a cabaret performer? So here are 6 strategies, or six tips, 6 strategies that you, if used all in combination together, are going to help you enjoy that social season, but without feeling like you're missing out, but not letting that social season really take over and ruin all of the work that you've done throughout the rest of the year. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to create a plan or a protocol for your social events. So what you want to do is decide exactly how you will allow yourself to vary from your everyday eating or drinking plan. So for me, I've talked about this many times, my variation in terms of my food plan when I'm eating out, and this will include any social event for me too, it will always be vegan. There will be no animal products. I, where possible, will make sure it is as healthy as I can get, right? So, but what I'm not going to worry about so much is the whole aspect. I'm not going to worry so much about oils, salts, sugars, white flours so much. I don't like foam meats anyway, really, so I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be eating that sort of food. But if there is a nice artesian vegan cheese, yeah, I might have some. But yeah, so I'm not going to worry so much about the whole aspect when it comes to my food. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to decide exactly how much your everyday protocol is going to vary when you go to an event. Get yourself really, make a decision ahead of time, right? So decide exactly what you will eat or drink. Also decide exactly what you're not going to eat and drink. And then you want to decide how much you will eat or drink. So that means, for me, basically, when I'm eating, when I say how much, I will make sure that I'm always just eating to satiation. I'm still going to honor my hunger and my satiation cues. So I'm going to eat when I'm hungry, and I'm going to stop when I'm satisfied. I'm not just going to keep blindly eating because it's there. Blindly eating because it tastes so good, and I'm at an event and I should eat it, I should be sociable, somebody's made it and I want to honor them. No, I'm going to still honor my hunger and my satiation cues and not overeat. Decide how much you will or won't drink as well. So that might mean the exact number of drinks that you are going to have. Decide what you will drink as well. Um, it's really good to give yourself a plan around what you will drink too. So if you decide that you're going to have 3 glasses of champagne, that's going to look very different to 3 cocktails. So get yourself really clear on what you will eat and drink and decide how much you will eat and drink. And just let go of this need to be perfect. Let go of the desire to create the perfect plan. Just you want to have a plan. You're basically giving yourself instructions ahead of time. And also let go of the need to be perfect every single day. It's what you do the majority of your life. Every other day, every other day, day by day, every other week, week by week, what you do for the majority of the year that is going to determine your overall health and outcome. It's not what you might do occasionally. I'm just going to context that though. If you are trying to heal from a particular disease, this kind of won't apply to you. If you are trying to seriously reverse inflammation, chronic inflammation, or chronic disease in some way, varying from your everyday protocol is likely going to be like pouring gasoline on top of a fire. So this doesn't necessarily apply to you. This is for the majority of us who are not facing critical health conditions and whose health is relatively good. What we just don't want to do is send our health spiraling backwards or our weight ballooning, okay? We want to stay relatively in control of what we're doing throughout the season. All right, so reminding yourself, let go of that need to be perfect. It's about what you do the majority of the time, not what you do occasionally. All right, so your plan or your protocol, it must be determined at least 24 hours in advance of your event. Now, why is this? When you're making decisions ahead of time, you're actually doing it with your conscious brain, not your habit, pleasure-seeking brain. So the decisions that you'll be making are not going to be influenced by the environment, the event or party environment. So what do I mean by that? When you're going to an event, whether it's going to be around food or alcohol or whatever is likely to tempt you, making your decision about what you will and won't consume at least 24 hours in advance is a conscious decision. You're making that decision with your conscious mind, and that version of that version of your brain, is the one who has your best intentions in mind. It is the version of you who's looking after your well-being, right? It's the version of you who creates your plans and your dreams and your goals, right? So whereas if you wait to make your decision about what you'll eat and what you'll drink and how much when you're actually at your event, the likelihood is that when you're in the middle of doing the eating and the drinking and you haven't got a plan, you haven't given your brain instructions ahead of time, what's going to happen is that your brain is going to get that massive hit of dopamine from the rich foods, from the alcohol that you're drinking. It's going to start getting high. Your conscious brain is going to start getting dulled, and your habit, pleasure-seeking brain is going to start taking over, and it's going to start saying that, because of the high levels of dopamine, that was the best thing for my survival. Keep going. Right? So without a plan of knowing exactly what to eat and how much to eat or drink, your primitive pleasure-seeking brain is going to start taking over and encourage you to keep going, keep going, keep going. It's the best thing for my survival. All right? So we don't want to end up in a situation where we haven't given ourselves instructions ahead of time. We want to make sure we've got that plan. So when you've written your plan out, you also want to look at it with your logical, honest eyes, with your conscious mind, ahead of time. You want to look at it and you want to be fully acknowledging the effects that that plan are going to have on your body. So, but you also want to own that decision. We're not doing this to turn ourselves off and change it necessarily, but you do want to be honest about it. You want to own that decision that you're making. Okay, I know I'm going to be drinking some alcohol. I know I'm going to feel bloated. I'm probably going to be constipated. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to, whatever it is. You talk yourself through that, and then you say, is this what I want? If it's what you want, you then just own that decision. You also own the consequences of that decision, right? You want to make sure that your brain is fully conscious and aware of what is to come. And yes, you can always adjust the plan if you go, I'm not sure I want the consequences. So then you go and adjust that plan, all right? You don't beat yourself up, you just adjust the plan, and then you make sure that you are okay with that plan. And then the next step is to stick to that plan. Or you can do better than you planned. You just want to avoid not sticking to the plan or doing worse than your plan. But just also acknowledge that you will have urges to eat or drink more than is on your plan. It's going to happen, right? Once that primitive brain starts getting dopamine, it's going to encourage you to have more. It's going to throw urges at you. What we don't want to do is make those urges a problem. They're not a problem. We're acknowledging that they're going to come. You simply allow those urges for more to be there, and you don't fight them and you don't give in to them. You simply stick to your plan. You allow the urge to be there. You witness the urge and you say, oh, hello, here's the urge. Oh, here it is. I was expecting you. Hello. You witness it and you simply stick to your plan. If you fight that urge, like if you try to push that urge away and, oh, I'm uncomfortable, or I shouldn't be desiring that, oh, but I just want more, but no, I shouldn't, it's going to grow stronger. We don't want to fight the urge. If you give in to the urge, you are strengthening the neural pathway that says, I throw up an urge, the urge gets met with a reward. So you don't want to give in to the urge as well. And what we're doing here is we're retraining, by not giving into the urge and not fighting the urges, we're retraining your brain that it can throw up an urge for more dopamine. But those urges are not going to be met with a reward, which is the food or the alcohol. And the less you meet an urge with the reward, being the food or the alcohol, the less urges over time your brain is going to send you. You can be in a situation around food, around alcohol, and your brain has no desire for it. No excess desire for it. This happens over time though. So don't expect it to happen just overnight. This is building a new neural pathway, all right? So, but the more you're able to do this, the more practice you do, the more you'll be able to be at an event, and you'll be able to stick to your plan and you won't go off the rails. So this is about building with your trust with yourself that you can do what you say you do. It's also helping to rewire those neural pathways in your brain around urges and desire, urges, and reward. So just make sure you want to stick to your plan. However, we also want to acknowledge that it might be very likely in the early stages of trying this that you will not stick to your plan. So let's acknowledge that up front too. This is a pretty new process for some people. And if you're trying it out for the first time, it's likely that you might stuff up. So what do we do if we do stuff up? All right, so this takes us to strategy number 2 that must be used in conjunction with strategy number 1, is you assess how you went against your protocol. You want to assess both uh, good and bad. I don't really like using those words. Ask yourself, did you stick to your protocol? Or did you veer off course from your protocol? If you stuck to your protocol, great. Write down what that experience was like. Did you have any urges? How did you deal with the urge? Um, Write down everything that you can think of that helped you stick to your plan. And what that's doing is it's actually strengthening that neural pathway and helping you stick to your plan even more next time. All right, so you want to do an assessment even if you stuck to your plan. If you didn't stick to your plan, if you veered way off course, if you failed first time, right, what we're going to do is we're going to assess this too. Okay, what happened? Just get curious with yourself. No judgment, no beating yourself up. We do not do that. When we judge ourselves, when we beat ourselves up, criticize ourselves, we stop ourselves from learning, from taking the lesson away from the experience. All you want to do here is learn. So, what happened? What was the trigger that drove you off course this time? What can you do to remove the trigger next time you're in this environment? Is there anything that you can do to remove that trigger? How can you set yourself up for success next time you're in this environment? Is there anything that you can think of that might have been beneficial to you? How can you stay accountable next time? Can you ask friends or family to hold you accountable to help you stay on track? You know, what can you do? Would setting up a tracker of some sort, you know, in your phone, or having a checklist or something like that? Is there something that you can do that is going to help you stay accountable next time you're in this situation? You just want to learn from the experience and keep trying. So one failure doesn't mean that you're a failure and you're never going to get this, so you may as well stop trying. Just stop listening to that voice, right? We never progress by listening to that voice. We never succeed when we listen to that voice, right? So failure doesn't mean that you're a failure and that you're never going to get there. It is very normal to slip up in the beginning. Basically, you are just doing what you've always done. That is the very strong neural pathway. So just be patient with yourself here. As I said before, you are trying to build these new neural pathways, which takes some time. It takes practice over and over and over to do this, like carving a new path in the bush. You know, you don't just walk through the bush once and suddenly you've got a beautiful path. You've got to keep going, and you've got to keep clearing the weeds, and you've got to lay down new tracks and put new handrails, and then you'll start taking that path every time naturally, right? And also, just like, you know, you don't walk into the gym once and do some bicep curls and suddenly you've got bulging biceps, right? It takes patience and consistent effort, all right? So neither does building and following your social profile work necessarily always the first time. So just allow yourself to slip up and learn, slip up and learn, slip up and learn. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. This will happen with time, but time and patience. All right. So they are the first two strategies. One is you are creating your protocol ahead of time. And then two is you are going to assess how you went against your protocol after the event. So let's move on with some other great things that can just help you generally stay healthy during this season and not go completely off the rails. 3 is to make sure you're still eating plenty of vegetables. No matter what you are going to allow into your flexible protocol, just be sure to still fill your plate with plenty of vegetables, fiber, nutrition, all the good things, all right? So you could look at shifting the proportion of foods on your plate from what you would normally have. So if previously, you know, your plate would have looked like, I don't know, 70% meats, dairies, processed foods, oils, sugars, etc., all the red light foods we're wanting to stay away from, then switch that balance over to 70% vegetables and 30% red light foods so that you really are still getting a lot of good nutrition on your plate. You can still enjoy a little bit of flexibility over here, but don't make that the majority of what you're eating at this time. Right, this is going to minimize the harm from any of those red light foods that you do consume. If your social protocol is more around your alcohol consumption, then the alcohol is going to impact things like your digestion. It's going to kill off some gut bacteria. It might lead to things like constipation, really slow down the works on the inside. So ensuring that you have plenty of vegetables on your plate, plenty of fiber, it's going to help you replenish your gut and help keep your gut healthy and keep things moving. It's going to minimize the damage that alcohol is doing to your body. All right. So, strategy number 4, don't overeat, right? Stick to only eating when you're hungry and continue to finish when you've had enough rather than overfilling yourself. You don't need to overeat. This is not your last meal. You will not never have these foods again. You do not need to finish your plate because, oh my goodness, it tastes so good. If you can't finish your plate, just save the leftovers. Save the leftovers for tomorrow. You get to enjoy all that deliciousness again another day. And you don't have to sample everything just because it's on offer. And you don't have to sample everything in huge volumes. If you want to sample everything, make sure you know, having smaller volumes so that you get to sample everything. Still honor your hunger and fullness cues. And this is going to ensure that the caloric damage that you do to your body is minimal. So it's meaning that you're not pouring thousands of calories extra into your body. You're still honoring your the caloric needs of your body. Okay. Number 5 is don't ditch everyday healthy eating habits. So outside of these events, stick to high nutrient dense, low calorie, whole plant foods every other day and every other meal. Every other meal of that day when the event is on. Just get back on with it, basically. You haven't ruined everything. We don't take to our car with a sledgehammer just because we get a small ding in it, right? So we don't need to throw out our overall healthy eating patterns just because we indulged at one meal, just because we had an event where we went off protocol. Just get right back to nourishing yourself, your body, your gut, your brain, your organs, and your body will love you for it. Green leafy vegetables in particular, these are great for curbing the desire to eat, rich, sugary foods. So at least make sure you get plenty of the green leafy vegetables that are going to help lessen that desire for the unhealthy foods as well. You don't also need to swing back to severe restriction after an indulgence, all right? So don't try and go, oh, I need to reduce my calories and I need to just be super perfect and super strict. No, you don't need to do that either. That just perpetuates that whole desire to binge and then restriction cycle, which is not healthy either. We just want to get back to normal, whole plant food, healthy eating, all right? Get your body and your brain back into a state of normal, all right? And then strategy number 6, stay well hydrated. This may sound simple, but it's easy to forget when we are in the height of, doing things and we're so busy and we're out shopping and we're at the parties, right? So making sure that you're still getting enough water for your body's needs. Don't allow yourself to get dehydrated, especially if you're drinking alcohol. My recommendation is that you stock up on your hydration before you even start drinking any alcohol. Make sure that you also replenish well after. So, what I do if I'm ever drinking, if I'm going to be drinking alcohol, I'll make sure I get at least 2 liters of water into my body before I even start. That way, I'm not starting on a back foot. I'm not expecting that I will go one alcoholic drink, one water, one alcoholic drink, one water. You can do that as well. But that relies on your conscious mind being in control while you're actually drinking. And oftentimes that conscious brain is the thing that is being dulled while we're drinking. So at least if you get your alcohol in first, you don't have to remember. Sorry, if you get your water in first, you don't have to remember later. And it also minimizes the damage while you're drinking. So staying hydrated, even when you're not drinking as well, even if alcohol is not the thing that you're worried about. If it's the food, staying well hydrated is going to help curb any over desire for food. It's going to help you stay fuller for longer. So it will minimize the amount of food that you have the desire to eat. And it's also going to help you minimize any sugar cravings. So stay well hydrated. 2 liters at absolute minimum, but I recommend 3. Water is also going to be great to keep your digestion moving when you are eating, less than desirable foods, and when you're also drinking. So drinking and red light foods are going to impact your digestion. So remember, if you're eating lots of vegetables still, then that in conjunction with water is going to make sure everything is still just passing through your body and you're able to remove toxins from your body quickly. All right. Any questions, guys? Pop your questions into the comments if you have any. And just to recap that for you now, the 6 strategies that I have to staying on top of things this season is 1, to create your social plan at least 24 hours in advance of your social event. You're going to plan exactly what you will eat, what you will drink, how much you will eat, how much you will drink. Stick to your plan. Oops, sorry. Stick to your plan. That's still number 1. Okay, number 2 is review afterwards how you went against your plan, whether you stuck to your plan or not. You want to review it anyway. You want to recognize the things that helped you stick to your plan so that you can strengthen that for next time. But if you didn't stick to your plan, just get curious with yourself, non-judgmental, learn from the experience. How can you do better next time? And keep going, keep trying. This is a muscle that you're trying to strengthen. It's a new neural pathway that you're trying to build. Okay. 3, keep eating plenty of vegetables. Adjust the balance on your plate. Make sure that at the event, vegetables are still the hero of your plate so that you are still putting a lot of goodness into your body. 4, don't overeat. Stick to honoring your hunger and your satiation cues. Make sure that when you're eating, you are hungry. Make sure that you're slowing down your eating. This is not a race, and that you're finding your satiation cues and you stop before you overeat. That's going to minimize the caloric damage to your body. 5, keep up your healthy eating at every other day, every other meal. You don't have to throw every other meal out the window just because you have an indulgence at one meal. And 6, staying well hydrated. Easy. All right. Did anyone have any questions there for me on this? You can drop those in the chat. I'm looking at the comments just here. So I'm sure they'll come up if you do have them. But for those of you who might be struggling with this, or struggling with your weight loss, or struggling with staying accountable, or struggling with family situations or social situations that you really find are dragging you off track, if you're in my group, have you had your free one-on-one call with me yet? If you haven't, please make sure that you reach out to me or make a comment below, or hold on a sec. Why don't I just drop it in now? Use this link that I'm going to drop into the comments to book that chat with me. Let's just see if we can bust through what it is that is standing in your way, and we can set up a game plan to help you keep moving towards your goals. All right, so do that. Make sure you have done that. Everybody who comes into the group gets a free one-on-one with me if you want it. And if you feel like you need more long-term support, structure, accountability, all within a sociable and supportive and friendly community, I do have a couple of spots still open in my one-on-one coaching program, my weight loss coaching program. My clients are often saying to me that my program is nothing like they've expected or anything they've ever seen or done before. So it's a mix of health and life coaching. It's whole food, plant-based eating and healthy habits, but we also go deep and go internal to understand ourselves better and understand why we're holding ourselves back from creating the health or the body or the life that we want to live. So we really start to learn at a deep level why we sabotage ourselves, why we have resistance to change. You know, we understand our thoughts and our limiting beliefs, and our emotional state so much better. And in a way, it really has you taking control back of your life and being able to be more powerful and intentional, and making intentional choices for yourself around all aspects of your health and of your life. So, you know, from your food to your movement to your sleep to your mindfulness and beyond. So if you are really feeling stuck and you haven't been able to work this out, then I highly recommend just jumping on a call, having a call with me. Reach out to me in the DM, or just write, you know, ready in the comments below, and we're going to help. We're going to work on getting you past your roadblocks, finding out exactly what they are, where you are holding yourself back, and having you basically lose that weight for the last time. My clients are doing some amazing things at the moment, and I'm really super proud of them. So I'd love for you to join that crew as well and come and be one of my, what am I calling them now? Oh, Chas, I see you're watching. Chas, what do we call you? The badasses. That's right. Plant-powered badasses. Okay, so I see a comment in here from Chas. Do you recommend not snacking at party versus just having a meal? Honor your hunger and your fullness. It depends what sort of event it is. If it's just, you know, if you want to have a few snacks, then you can have a few snacks. But what it will do to your mealtime is that, you know, you will start to get fuller sooner. You don't need such a big pile on your plate at your meal. So just be really intentional about that. If you're going to, you know, if you're at a 3-course dinner or something like that, you've got your starter, you've got your main, which you guys call the entree. We call our starters the entrees. It's a bit weird. Anyway, you got your starter, you got your main meal, and then you got your dessert or something like that. Again, just make sure that if you want to sample everything, that you are leaving room for it, and knowing that the dessert, the sugary dessert at the end, is the one that not going to take up much space in there, but it's going to be very high in calories. But just make sure that you honor your hunger and your fullness no matter what you are doing. That's the main thing. So it doesn't matter what you're having, whether you're having snacks or whether you're having your main meals. If you want to save, if the snacks are not very healthy and you want to save your calories for the healthy stuff that might be on the main meal, then you can do that. But it's just about being more intentional and making a decision about what you think is going to be right for your body, not for your brain. Get into your body. All right, baddies, yes. Okay, does anyone else have any questions on that? And if we don't have any more questions around that, we will finish up today. And I am really looking forward to hearing how you all go with this. If you try it out and you have some success with this, and you feel like you've gotten through the Christmas season feeling pretty unscathed and still feeling pretty healthy by the end of it, please let me know. I want to hear this from you. All right. Thank you guys for watching today. And I will catch you next week. We'll probably delve into a few more trainings a little bit like this. I really like to bring the one about how you go through this season with family and friends as well, uh, who might take issue with what is on your plate, because I think this is a big thing that holds a lot of people back. We often want to please everybody else and have them comfortable with what we're eating, but how do we move past that and put our needs first? Anyway, so I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day or wonderful evening. Bye for now.